infernal blessings. We are back for another video. Before I do that, just a couple quick announcements. If you are interested in signing up for any of the classes that I do offer, the way to do that is to go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, located at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. That's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3 is the way you want to go. Tier 3 will give you access to the 3 private classes that I do every month on Patreon. And it'll also give you access to the ritual we do as a group at the end of the month. That's patreon.com/Baniti. If you're interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, you can reach out to me, khnum19@gmail.com. The different readings that I do offer: telepathic demonic readings, shadow work readings, which is always a great place to start to see what you got going on around you, or just to tap into what type of ritual work you should be doing, at this moment in your life. Deity readings to see, what spirits or demons walk with you. Egyptian oracle readings, as I said, Santa Muerte readings. For information on how to book a reading or a consultation, just hit me up at that email, khnum19@gmail.com. The 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference is in full effect. You can sign up and register for that now. It is October 19th to the 22nd. The 19th kicks it off with a meet and greet. Friday, Saturday, we have classes and workshops. Friday and Saturday night, group rituals with group dinner on both nights, and then just some hanging out and socializing and having some fun and kicking it. Sunday wraps up the event, noon to 4 p.m. I'll be doing a question and answer class. That wraps up the event. All right, that's October 19th to the 22nd in Hollywood, Florida at Cultural Expressions, close to the beach, the airports. Send me an email and I'll send you information. You could also attend virtually, which gives you access to the 3 days of classes on the 20th, 21st, and the 22nd. Just shoot me an email and I'll send you that information. Also keep in mind, all of this new content is being uploaded to the Primordial Chaos podcast, which is located on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast, along with my email contact, and along with the link to the Patreon page if you want to sign up for Patreon and get in on the classes. All of it's in the description box of this video. And keep in mind, when you sign up for the Patreon, not only do you have access from the day you sign up moving forward, you have access to the all the archived content from day one on that tier, and all the ongoing series of classes that we've been doing for a while: shadow work class, telepathic sorcery, Luciferian magic, self-mastery, ancient Egyptian vampiric class, etc. You get access to everything prior to before you join, plus moving forward. All right, so I just want you to keep that in mind. And again, all that information is in the description box of the video. All right, having said that, so what I want to tackle in this video is candle magic, right? A very simple, very well-known, widely used, and efficient method of doing ritual work. Candle magic, not just on the occult or the left-hand path, and a lot of spiritual practices. It is utilized. In a multitude of ways. So I'm going to discuss with you here, again, as these are quick tutorials, I'm going to discuss with you here some effective ways of applying candle magic practices to your daily work. Effectively working candle magic, first and foremost, I'll talk about a couple of methods, is understanding the colors of candles, what these colors of these candles are used for, because as I've said many times and in previous videos, colors carry vibrational frequency and energy. They emit vibrational energy. They're used for certain things, certain reasons, because you want to be using the correct color for the right, that sinks you into the right energy of whatever type of candle magic work you are doing. Candle magic work can be used for a multitude of reasons. It can be used for spell work. You can use it for finance or money work if you so choose. It can be used for destructive work. It can be used for healing, right? So pretty much every aspect of ritual work for whatever particular reasons, candle magic can be utilized for it in some shape, form, or fashion. Now, dressing and charging candles is very critical and super important. You know, when you're charging a candle, to draw something to you in a ritual spell or a ritual or a candle magic working, as I've explained, you know, when you start from, if it's a taper candle, you start from the top and the bottom, and you go you charge it counterclockwise, bringing yourself to the middle. If you were trying to remove something or destroy something, it's the reverse. You start from the middle, going clockwise, and work your way to the top and the bottom out. There's different types of candles you can use. I find taper candles are the most effective for spell work. If you're using glass candles, and depending on how the ritual's set up, some rituals require astral altar candles, and there's different setups, but you can get creative and utilize what you want. If you're utilizing glass candles, a little trick, when you're charging them up with oil, you could take a chopstick and press a little hole to the bottom so the oil gets all the way to the bottom, and then you would just charge the top of that candle. Again, you would use your fingers going counterclockwise to draw in and clockwise to draw out. So you could use a multitude of types of candles. You can use taper candles, glass candles, tea light candles. You can charge them. Now, some people make their own oils. Some people bought already made charged oils for particular reasons. There's, so many products out there for charging candles. So whether you create your own or whether you have one you like that's already pre-made, that's personal. But I always suggest charging your candles. They have oils that candles are charged specifically for deities, or they have oils that are charged for opening up financial doors and avenues, protection, destruction of enemies, all these things. I can tell you this, the ones you make on your own are going to be more powerful and effective, because you are going to have that ability of charging it with your own personal energy, for sure. Okay, so that would be your best bet. Now, again, if you don't have that ability or you don't want to go through all that, you still have the ability to charge these candles with your own personal creation. I like to take, if I buy candles, whether it's online, in a store, etc., I always like to maybe lightly dab a cloth. I like to basically clean and remove any previous vibrations on them that were handled by others. You can use a very light amount of Florida water if you have some other type of spiritual cleansing thing you like to use, but I find just very light amount of Florida water. Wipe your candles down, get the residue and the dust and previous vibrational energy off of it. You could carve sigils into candles, right? There's different types of candles too, outside of just like the standard glass tea light candles or taper candles. There's reverse candles. There's candles made if you're casting love spells. There's male, female candles. They have specific candles designed for different things. You also see sometimes these ritualistic candles that are all dressed, like, for an example, Santa Muerte candles. You can find a lot of those already pre-made up, dressed, charged. There's that. It's a matter of preference, but the most important thing with candle magic, again, I'm just running through this stuff quick. I could probably sit here and talk about candle magic for hours, and it's probably one of the first things years back that I started doing when I first got introduced to the occult. I would suggest a great book. Now, just some book suggestions real quick. Raymond Buckland has a series of books on candle magic and candle burning. I would also recommend probably one of the first quote-unquote occult books I picked up was The Magic Candle by Charmaine Day. That is a book to effectively understand the different types of candles, how to charge your candles. If you're looking for a good all-around primer, to me, that's one of the most classic books that was ever written on candle magic. She really does a great job in breaking down the colors and things of that nature. So that would be a good suggestion to really get some detailed information on what I'm talking about here. So there's different, you have many different options. Depends on how deep you want to go in your candle magic. Now, a lot of these candle magic books, I'm just going to be honest with you, they show you these different setups. There is, some of these spells or rituals you'll see in these books, they might have some religious overtone to it. But again, you use what works for you. I necessarily don't follow to the letter some of the setups in there. I more or less use the information on the colors, understanding the energies. I pretty much create my own setups, my own rituals. Because a lot of the stuff in there you're going to find, it's not all of it really. I don't know if new agey is the right word. Might be a little bit of a new agey overtones. I find Charmaine Day's book is very neutral. It's not really religious. Well, let me rephrase. It kind of removes a lot of the religious element from it. She kind of just deals with it from more of a neutral occult perspective, especially breaking down the color black and the use of black candles and the importance of black candles, because black, especially in candle magic, it absorbs everything into it and it kind of filters it out, and it also sends out everything after it filters out through that absorption process. This is why black candles are used in a lot of dark ritual spells or dark magic spells of destruction, right? Because of the absorption of energy that the color black has the power to do. Don't underestimate the power of candle magic. As sometimes on the surface it can appear very simplistic, but what I was saying a few minutes ago, the most important aspect of candle magic is your power and what you charge those candles with, right? So don't go into a candle magic ritual spooked the fuck out. Like, oh, I'm just going to do this ritual, say a few words, and poof, everything is going to be fixed or everything's going to go my way. No. Sometimes you have to stay hard at candle magic multiple times on a specific situation to get the desired result or outcome. So just like any other ritual work, sometimes it's not always a one and done, right? It's deeper than that. It goes beyond a one and done. Okay? So sometimes you must stay at that work consistently, right? Not just once, twice, or 3 times, right? Now, also having the ability to read your candles, understanding the way they burn without being spooky, because I've seen people get spooky with this shit too, all right? There's a way to read glass candles, read the wax if it's tapers and how they burn. Long story short, I'll use glass candles. If you're doing, it could be a petition type of ritual that could be several days. It could be something that's just for that moment, etc. One thing you'll notice, if your candles are burning very clean and efficient, say your glass candles, okay, and you're not getting a lot of residue on the glass, it's burning pretty clean, that means your spell or your ritual is working, right? But if you're getting a lot of residue, cloudiness, wax residue building up all on the side, things of that nature, that's a sign the spirits are showing you that you need to stay at it, work hard. You need to put more effort into it. This is something you might have to stay at a little longer than you thought. Doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means you're going to have to use more of your power to accomplish what you want. Now, rule out all the spookiness, because if you, for example, have your candle or your altar right near a AC vent that's blowing, and your candle's blowing crazy, and then you get spooky. Oh, look how crazy my candle is. The spirits, no, it's your AC vent trying to tell you need to move your shit. Always take into effect, before you light your candles or while they're burning, is there anything impeding the way that they're burning before you go to Spookyville? Also, before you light candles, make sure they're not defected. Sometimes you can get glass candles where the wick is not scented. It might go along the line of the glass. That can cause them to burn funky. So always do your due diligence. Make sure. Now again, you're going to get, it happens to all of us. Occasionally you're going to get a defective candle. But I'm saying make sure that doesn't interfere with how you read your candles. Now, if you got tapers and the AC vents ain't hitting them and obstructing the way they burn, and they're burning all crazy, wax dripping all over the place, not burning smooth, again, that's the spirits telling you, you must stay at work harder on this. There's a lot more work to do on this. If the tapers, like the glass, are burning down smooth, no wax all over the place, residue, etc., that's confirmation your ritual is working. So you got to know how to read your candles. Now, sometimes in certain cases, the candles will, especially tapers, the wax will, sometimes I've seen them form into symbols, sigils, imagery. It can happen. Again, make sure you're not trying to see something so bad that you're interpreting it as that. Usually it's a clear-cut message where you're not struggling to interpret it. You're not assuming or guessing. It's just you get a strong inclination and you see it. Right? So you got to know how to read your candles too when you're doing candle magic work. Okay? You got to know the correct oils to use, whether it's your own personal made oils or already made oils that you get in a store. Charging your candles is very important. Cleaning them and prepping them and removing previous spiritual vibrational energy off of it from all. It's no different. Your candles are like a piece of your altar as it would if you bought an icon or a statue or a ritual tool. They should be cleansed and clean, okay? Anything you do in work on your ritual altar, you should do a simple cleaning to it and remove all previous vibrational energy on it, because that can interfere with your rituals, okay? That can affect your rituals not getting the results that you're desiring, okay? And all these things you need to be aware of if you're going to practice and carry out, candle magic. Okay, I use it and have been using it on and off for years. I go through periods where I work it. I like to do, rituals where, as I said, if it's to create harmony or harmonized energy in the family and the home, healing. Yes, you can do money rituals. I really don't do rituals like that because I got other work that has opened doors for that. But I would recommend this. A lot of candle books for money work, if you do. Now, when I say I don't really do money work for specific things, but I might, which I'm not going to get into here, but I've created years ago a money bag that I will occasionally recharge, which was a bag, created for consistent finances. So I don't really do finance or money work for something particular. I just do it for the flow of consistent money, which when you connect with the spirit world for that, they tend to open doors, in my opinion, on a better level. Now, you will see in some candle magic book when it comes to prosperity or finances or money, there'll be a lot of recommendations of green and metallic gold. I prefer to use metallic gold for money rituals. I find metallic gold works a lot more effective in doing money magic. That's just my opinion. I know people that do use green, and that does work. Candle magic too is very, very effective. You can cross-reference some of your ritual work, say with spiritual baths. Sometimes you can find work that both are connected, but I would highly recommend gold metallic candles for financial work if you're going to do some type of candle magic work. In my opinion, it works a lot better, more effective. All right. So, quite simply, you just need to educate yourself on the specifics of what you're doing candle magic work for. You need to know the right color candles to use for that magic work. What kind of oils are you going to charge your candles with, and know the correct way to charge or bring something to you, and when you're trying to remove something or destroy something. It's two different processes on how to charge a candle. Now, another good effective practice, especially, when you're working a spell or a ritual that maybe could be over a several day period or more. It's always good to spend time in front of your altar with those candles and focus on the spell, focus on the ritual. So if it's something that's going to take 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever, how many days, try to spend, daily some time in front of that altar. Now, for safety purposes, I just have to say this because sometimes people do dumb shit. I don't recommend people do it, but it's up to you. Not recommended if you're doing a spell over several days. The other question that comes up, is it okay to put the candles out? Stop getting spooky. I don't suggest you leave candles burning unattended with nobody in your home. That's probably not safe. Nobody's keeping score, but it's important if it's a ritual, whether you have to leave your home and extinguish those candles and come back and relight them when you're there, etc., etc., the candles do need to fully burn out. You need to finish them all the way to the end until, especially for a ritual working that's for several days or more, the candle needs to burn out to the point where it's done. It extinguishes itself. So you can do that over an X amount of days. Just make sure the candles burn all the way through to complete your ritual spell or ritual candle magic spell that you're working. Candle magic is a very ancient practice that's been used in many different cultures and many different spiritual systems. Again, a very effective practice. To me, it's probably one of the first practices an occultist should really look into. It's a good place to get started. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some complex, intricate, or it could be some really detailed, candle magic spells. So I'm not saying they're all simple and easy, because again, it's all centered around your power and how much of that energy or power you charged those candles up with. So I want to make that clear. It comes back to you. Let's not forget that. You still are at the core reasoning of why those things are happening, or in some cases not happening. You give it the power. And I don't want you to go into candle magic thinking I'm going to light a few candles, say a few words, and poof, it's all fixed. It's not. It doesn't work like that. All right. So, in short, quick review. There's a lot more I can cover on this. Again, look at some of those books I referenced. Do highly recommend, if you don't have Candle Magic or the Magic Candle by just Charmaine Day. It'll come right up. That's Charmaine with a C. That's a great book if you're really interested in working candle magic. And again, get creative with your spells. You don't necessarily have to do the layouts in there that exact way, but utilize the information in the best way you can that's going to help suit you. You're not going to find, I've created my own ritual candle magic work, say with Samael, Iblis, Shaitan. You're not going to find all that in any books that's existing out there, but you can use some of the outlines from the candle magic books to create your own more darker occult rituals, say with the Qliphoth, sorcery, black magic. That's where your creativeness is going to come in, because you're not going to really find a lot of books out there dealing with that. So this is why I said earlier, I've created my own with the knowledge I've gained over the years of candle magic practice. So I kind of created my own stuff, and it's more effective. But the information as a whole will help you greatly if you study and research that. You'll get a lot out of it, in my opinion, a lot. So take a look at that. Again, educate yourself to what kind of candles, oils you'll need. Keep in mind, a candle magic ritual or a candle magic spell is like any other ritual. Your focus, your intent needs to be in alignment. Make sure you're charging those candles correctly. Again, just like any other ritual work, you must assist your magic in your mundane world too. So spend time in front of those candles at your altar, meditating on the goal you're trying to accomplish. Constantly put mental power, mental focus, and mental energy to that ritual. All those things, right? apply regardless to ritual, period. Okay? So I would highly suggest, you educate the colors of the candles, very important. Make sure you're utilizing the right things. Now, the last thing I do want to say on this, forgot this because I talked about it a few videos back. You'll find in a lot of these candle magic books, it's very big on the planetary hours of the sun, the moon, and the planets in general. Again, as I said in that previous video, I'm going to talk a little bit about this on the next video, the astrology aspect. You'll see this a lot utilized in these books. If you have time to plan your rituals, yes, the energy can be influential. But remember, I said there's going to be times you don't have time. And remember, a really good magician, he or she has the ability to work magic any place at any time. So it never should hinder you from doing spell work unless you feel your power, or ritual work unless you feel your power is not that strong. Okay? We'll talk a little bit more about that, but yes, you will see in a lot of these candle magic books, it'll be dealing with the phases of the moon, the waxing and the waning of the moon, the positioning of the sun and the planets. There is a connection there for that. And again, for planned magic, if you can do it, hey, I'm all for it. I'm not saying don't. But there's going to be many times that arise in our life where we got to do magic on the fly. And it ain't got nothing to do with what the astrological is, or if the moon is waning or waxing. So I say that to say don't get too caught up in it, but educate yourself. If you can plan your rituals, plan them when you can. All right? But anyway, a very effective tool. Again, there's a lot more I can cover on this, but just educate yourself to those essentials, colors, oils, how to charge them, how to clean them, and how to assist your magic. Again, by spending time in front of that altar and focusing on the goal, focusing on the intent and the intent. And again, candle magic and candle burning is a practice that has been used for a very, very long time. And most cultures, spiritual systems, and religions incorporate usually some form of it. But anyway, this is just a quick tutorial. Hopefully this helped you. Maybe I'll revisit this. I don't know. I'll see. Maybe there's more part 2 to do on this. I'm not sure. I just kind of roll with it. But I think I covered the foundational basics to kind of push you in the new direction. Or maybe you're a new person that never has tapped into candle magic and is thinking about it. Take these tips and suggestions, and I can tell you you'll be good to go. All right, other than that, if you need to reach me, again, the email is khnum19@gmail.com, knum19@gmail.com. That's where to contact me if you need information on how to sign up for the 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference. If you're interested in booking a spiritual reading or a consultation, that's where you email me. Also, keep in mind the direct link to the Patreon page, the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, is in the description box of this video. If you want to sign up and get in on the 3 private classes I do on Patreon every month. The link is in the description box of the video, and also the podcast link, the Primordial Chaos podcast, which is available on all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast is in the description box of this video. All right, that's going to do it for me for right now. We'll talk again soon on the next video. Infernal blessings.